Senator Hoeven, thank you for your strong leadership on that which is obvious to most of us, the need to move forward on the Keystone pipeline. Senator Hoeven, I'm not sure if you knew that I was a businessman before I arrived here in Congress, and I will tell you that our goal in business was to do the right thing. And as a senator, I want to do the right thing for all of the American people. And thanks to your strong leadership, Senator Hoeven, we have an opportunity to do just that. And yet, this administration continues to ignore policies that would help hardworking, hard-hit American families. I think back several years ago when I was growing up in a single-parent household. I think about the very difficult choices that my mom had to make between food and gas, energy consumption. What a horrible position to put any American family. And yet every single day we delay a decision on the pipeline. We say to struggling families, not now, not here, but maybe later. That's not the right message to send on the broader topic of energy, of this energy economy. The fact of the matter is if in fact your income's under $30,000, 25% of your income goes towards energy consumption. What a difficult position to find a single parent struggling to make their ends meet. And yet we have an opportunity not only to address that issue in the broader topic of the energy conversation, but to specifically address the issue faced by millions and millions of Americans, and that is an issue of unemployment. You see, the pipeline is not an issue of politics, it's an issue of the American people. The fact is that over 42,000 jobs would be created, and we would pump billions of dollars into the nation's economy, and yet the administration simply says, after 5.5 years, after several studies, we should wait just a little longer, as if we have not waited long enough for those 42,000 American families that could be positively impacted by going back to work. How long should we wait to see this administration do the right thing? I support this proposal. I support the legislation. I support congressional action to move this administration into a position where 61% of the American people already find themselves. They're already saying, let's move forward on the pipeline. They're ready to see action on constructing the pipeline because they understand that if we can't solve this simple issue, where there's already bipartisan support, how do we address the deeper challenges in the energy economy? I don't find myself often in the position to quote from members or even presidents of labor unions. I have to gulp when I make my next statement because it's so rare, so foreign to me. But I will tell you that Terry O'Sullivan, General President of the Laborers International Union of North America, he got it right when he says, this is once again politics at its worst. Here we see an amazing collaboration between labor unions, Democrat senators, Republican senators, and conservative groups all coming together asking, even begging the president to do the right thing. I don't know exactly what it will take to get the president to do what he said during a lunch meeting with all of us and the Republican senators, when he said, you know what we should do? By the end of 2013, we should find ourselves with a decision coming out of his office, his administration, and yet this is 2014. It does remind me a little bit of Obamacare. They continue to move the deadlines. We need action for the American people, and we need action for the American people right now. Let me close, Senator Hoeven, by thinking through where we are today on such a simple decision. I believe it was 62 senators in this body during the budget resolution supported moving forward on the Keystone pipeline. Is that correct, sir?
That's correct.
I believe that we've had a number of votes over the last 2 years where many senators have said, have voted, and have written letters asking for action on this pipeline. I think that's correct. And yet, if we can't solve a bipartisan issue on the energy, on the pipeline today, how do we start solving the broader issue of energy? Things like offshore energy production. How do we get ourselves in a position, Senator Murkowski, that we could have a conversation about offshore production? My state alone could see 7,500 new jobs, $2.2 billion annually added to our economy, and $87.5 million of new revenue generated for my state. But we can't solve the simple, bipartisan supported effort of the Keystone Pipeline. I thank you, Senator Hoeven, for your strong leadership, and I hope that we'll find it possible to move this legislation forward quickly, and let's get it done. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President.